Today I'd like to introduce you to a presentation tool called WeVideo, and you can find it at wevideo.com and sign up for a free personal account, which will allow you for 5 minutes a month of free publishing time. It's a great tool for incorporating photographs, video, text, music, and voiceover. And it puts it into a presentation that looks very attractive, and frankly, it's very intuitive. So I'm going to show you a very brief tutorial on how you might use this tool, either as a student to present your research on a particular subject, or as a teacher if you're flipping the classroom and you want to present a subject to your students beforehand. So once you're in WeVideo, the interface is like this. You will see that there's a button here to upload media. And this is my media library, which shows the images and video, if I choose, that I've already imported. And from my WeVideo library, I can then take media and drag it and drop it onto my main timeline bar here. So you'll see that the first thing you'll need to do is to import more media. And what I like about WeVideo is that it incorporates really well with Google software and on the Gmail, and so I can go into my drive and grab images and pull them into WeVideo. I can also import images from my computer that I've saved there. So to show you how to do that, you would click on the Upload Media button, and then say, for instance, you have all of these options. I'm going to go to my Google Drive, and from there I have uploaded some photographs into, I was going to say it was into sample photos, but I think I forgot to put this image in there. So I'm going to tap on the image and say select, and you'll see that it will put it right into my media folder within WeVideo. And from there, I can pull it into my presentation like so. So I can take this image. I think I'm going to scroll down a little bit and grab this image of the Argentinian flag and put it here. So I can also get more media from my computer. In this case, I'm working on a Chromebook, but in any case, I can just browse to my download files and find the image that I want. In this case, it's a picture of Machu Picchu, so I'll select it and open it. I'm expecting that also to go into my collection here, my media collection within WeVideo. So once that finishes, obviously it depends on the size of the photograph or how long it takes. I should be able to find Machu Picchu and then drag and drop. You can select multiple files. It really helps if you're well prepared and you already have your images ready to go. You'll notice that the green bar moves, which allows me to insert my image wherever I want it to go. Whether it was in order or not doesn't matter, because once you get your images there, you could take them and then drag them to the end of the timeline. So what you'll notice is that for every image that I put in, it takes up space on my timeline. Right now I'm at about 30 seconds. So if you need to expand or condense your timeline, you can go to these tools here on the bottom right and expand your view. All the while, my project is still at 30 seconds. You see as I press the plus button. That just helps you see, depending on how much you want to see at a time. If you have a very long project, it's obviously going to extend way off the end of the page, in which case you would want to minimize your view. So I can also insert video on this level right here. In the end, my final project is going to compress my video, my main storyboard, which is going to have most of my photographs and text and transitions. And then as for audio down here, you can click on the red microphone and make sure that your microphone is enabled and you can speak and speak over your presentation. And you can also change the length that your photographs show. I think that by default they're going to show for 5 seconds, as you can see here. But if you select it, there's an edit button and different effects that you can put on it, or you can trash it if you need to. But if you hover on the end here, you can take this edge here and then maybe shrink it to 4 seconds. So now I have a 4-second image right here. It's kind of fun to put in text and transitions. A text box, say at the beginning. You can also do subtitles, which would, instead of being inserted in between images, would be overlaid on top of images, which I like doing a lot. It takes a little bit more strategy because you have to make sure that the timeline of the subtitles that you place on top match the images as they're appearing. And then, of course, you can edit them. And when you edit them, you can say, for instance, the flag of Argentina. You can highlight your text, change the font to something maybe that has serifs on it. You can change, I like to highlight my text again and change the size of it by dragging this slider right here. So you'll see that my subtitles get larger. If I don't want them to be snug on the bottom, I can actually grab it and put it up here. So it'll appear over the flag in that position. I can still shrink my text. I can drag the text box. So if I didn't want something to automatically, wrap around, there it is. I can make it flush to the right. And then when I'm done editing, I click on that green button. So if I were to play it right now, let's see, I'll back up my little spacer here that shows me where I'm playing from. I could play and you'll see the subtitles will appear over the flag for the duration that I want it to. In this case, the subtitles are extending too long over my map of Mexico. So I think I will go back to my subtitles. I selected them and now I will drag this subtitle to the same position as my flag so that when it's playing over the flag, it stops when I transition to Mexico. So another thing I would like to show you is how you would put transitions. You can ease the look of flipping from slide to slide by clicking on the transitions button here. You'll see I have some tabs that will allow me to add video, graphics, audio from their music choices, as well as audio that I have the rights to put on there with accreditation, of course, into the audio bar right here. So I happen to be a fan of the crossfade, so I can grab this crossfade and put it right there in between each photograph if I want. I can change them up and do different ones. If I decide that my crossfade should not be 1 second but should be half a second, I can shrink that up too. So you can see now it's a little bit shorter. To see it better, you could expand your project and then change the crossfades or the transitions as appropriate. Lastly, if you want to put like a text box in, you can click here on this tab, and instead of subtitles like we did before, we're going to grab the text box, drop it, say at the beginning. That looks like it's going to be an 8-second text box. Too long for me, so I'll shrink it up to about 5 seconds, click the edit button, and then I will put my text in to introduce my presentation. I can, again, change the font if I want to make it something that has serif or sans serif, and kind of like the way that that's presenting over here. And so I think what I'll do is at this point, I'm going to say done editing, and I'll show you what that presentation is beginning to look like. Obviously right now it doesn't have extra music, but do remember, oh, there's a transition I forgot to put in. Here's a transition that looks nice, that you can vary the level of the audio depending on whether you have background music going or not. So let's say you're doing a voiceover and you want the background music to be kind of subdued, you can lower that and customize it. When you are finished with your project and you are ready to publish it, you can click the finish button. Oh, let's not forget to title it, by the way, because just because I put the text box in the front doesn't mean that my project is titled. So I'm going to say presentation on South America. I can click the finish button and it will publish my project. I may end up putting a text box in the end too to give credits and put my name, which you can assume will be done. And then I click the finish button. And once I click the finish button, it gives me some options. Where do I want to save this? I would suggest you always click Google Drive as well. It's going to ask me for permission to do that. But then once you have that video in Google Drive, it's also a finished product that you can save and share. So it doesn't just stay within WeVideo. And now I'm going to click WeVideo. I'm sorry, finish video. And it will take a few minutes to do it, but it will give me a URL, and I can go back into WeVideo and look at my projects and grab it again. And I can also, once it's been published, download it as an MP4, which is shareable in many different ways. So I hope you've enjoyed your introduction to WeVideo. I highly recommend using it, and I wish you great luck with this cool tool.